The true greatness of certain minds can only be recognized at the far edge of human reason. Kurt Gödel toppled the grand towering edifice of the mathematical world at the young age of 25, yet in his later years he sank deep into the mire of paranoid delusion, imprisoning himself in endless fear of poisoned food. Tonight, accompanied by the faint warm glow of flickering flames, we step into the lonely profound inner world of this peerless genius. If the ultimate pursuit of pure reason inevitably leads to the brink of madness, then the life of Kurt Gödel stands as the most perfect proof of this haunting truth. He became Albert Einstein's most trusted companion for quiet conversation in their later years, yet could never break free from the heavy inner shadows lingering deep within his soul. He proved beyond doubt that certain eternal truths can never be fully proven by logical deduction, just as he could never prove to his own mind that the world around him was ever truly safe. Close your eyes, drift back to the quiet twilight hours of Princeton, and listen to this timeless tale woven around supreme wisdom and the hidden price every genius must pay. At the blurred boundary where mathematics and philosophy intertwines lives a quiet recluse named Kurt Gödel. His entire life unfolded as a long, relentless spiritual quest and a tragic lifelong struggle against the illusion of absolute certainty. While all scholars and thinkers chased the perfect wholeness of logical systems, he alone pointed out the unavoidable cracks and flaws hidden within the foundation of rational thought. Tonight, nestled within this gentle, unhurried story meant only for quiet reflection, may you drift peacefully into slumber amid the lingering echo of eternal truth. Imagine the bitter cold of January 1978 sweeping through Princeton, the frigid wind piercing through window frames like sharp steel needles. Lying weak in a hospital bed was an extremely gaunt elderly man, refusing all food, his eyes filled with deep suspicion toward the entire world. He was universally acknowledged as one of the greatest logicians humanity had ever known, his profound intellectual insight once sending ripples of shock and awe across the entire mathematical community. His name was Kurt Gödel. Tonight, accompanied by the softly flickering glow of the hearth fire, we walk fully into the untold life of this remarkable soul. Through this tranquil tale meant only for quiet reflection, a man who devoted his entire life to pursuing rigorous, flawless logic ultimately met his end, consumed by utterly irrational fear, convinced that every bite of food laid before him had been secretly poisoned. He trusted no one in the world except his wife Adele, and when Adele fell seriously ill and could no longer prepare meals for him, he chose to refuse all sustenance until his last breath. It reads like a bitter, ironic fable, a genius who saw straight through the inherent limits of human logic yet could never settle his own life within the boundaries of rational thought. This stands as the ultimate paradox of a lifelong rationalist, the most heroic yet desolate final farewell of a pure, sensitive soul, confronting the fractured uncertainty of the mortal world. Our story begins not with the despair of his final hospital days, but with the seismic shock that rippled through academic circles in Vienna in 1931. At merely 25 years old, Kurt Gödel unleashed an intellectual shockwave upon the world, introducing his groundbreaking incompleteness theorems. Before this revolutionary revelation, mathematicians had clung firmly to the unshakable belief that if logical reasoning reached perfect, flawless perfection, humanity could explain, decipher, and prove every single truth governing the universe. Yet Gödel laid out an unyielding, cold, logical truth for all to see. Within any sufficiently complex logical system there will always exist propositions that hold genuine truth yet can never be proven valid using only the internal rules of that very system. This profound conclusion meant permanent, unbridgeable cracks would always remain upon the high walls of human reason, certain eternal truths destined only to be felt and perceived rather than deduced and proven by rational logic. Back then Gödel appeared thin, pale and frail, wearing a pair of thick, round spectacles, looking no older than an inexperienced student still new to academic life. Yet behind the lenses his sharp, discerning eyes had already pierced through the grand illusions cherished by the scholars of his era. He was never merely solving isolated mathematical puzzles, he was deconstructing humanity's arrogant, blind worship of absolute certainty and perfect logical completeness. This discovery catapulted him to instant academic fame, yet quietly planted a hidden seed of deep unease within his heart. If every logical system is inherently incomplete, if reason can never fully validate itself, then what place in this chaotic, uncertain world could ever truly offer safety, stability and absolute certainty? In 1940, fleeing the brutal advance of Nazi tyranny across Europe, Gödel traveled across half the globe to settle at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, United States. It was here he met the most precious kindred spirit of his lifetime, Albert Einstein. By this time Einstein had already achieved immortal fame in the world of physics. He once openly confessed that his daily journey to the Institute existed solely for the precious chance to walk home side by side with Gödel. Each Evening street lamps stretched the long shadows of the two unparalleled geniuses, one a towering giant reshaping modern physics, the other a quiet reclusive sage dwelling in the realm of pure logic. They exchanged thoughts on the intricate principles of general relativity, debated the profound essence of time and existence, and even deduced the theoretical framework of the Gödel universe, proposing the bold concept that time could theoretically loop in endless cycles. Einstein understood Gödel's profound loneliness better than anyone else, for both men dwelt within an extremely pure abstract dimension of thought far beyond the comprehension of ordinary people. Yet even Einstein's gentle warmth and sincere companionship could never fully dispel the deepening melancholy creeping over Gödel's mind. He gradually grew pathologically suspicious of the air he breathed, the water he drank, and the ordinary people surrounding him, constantly convinced that unseen eyes watched his every move in secret. He kept the curtains tightly drawn shut in his institute office, dreading that cold wind might bring not merely physical cold or illness but unseen curses and hidden malice. He lived entirely immersed in the abstract world of geometric formulas, logical axioms, and pure eternal truths, displaying an almost hypersensitive rejection toward the mortal world filled with trivial dust, hidden lies, and moral imperfection. To truly understand the roots of Gödel's crippling paranoia, we must first grasp his pathological relentless pursuit of perfect orderly logic. In Gödel's view, the natural world should contain no random chaos or unexplained coincidence. Every event, every occurrence ought to possess clear logical reasoning and undeniable cause behind it. During his naturalization interview for United States citizenship, he earnestly and seriously explained to the judge that he had discovered a critical logical loophole within the American Constitution, one that could legally allow the nation to transform into a full dictatorship under constitutional pretenses. Einstein, who accompanied him, grew instantly alarmed, rushing quietly to restrain him, fearing this brilliant, uncompromising logician might land himself in serious trouble. This extreme hypersensitivity toward every hidden logical flaw stood as an incomparable gift within academic research, yet became an unescapable disaster in daily life. His paranoia deepened. He began to doubt every meal placed before him, trapped in the haunting belief that within this inherently incomplete, uncertain world any small unknown link in daily life could hide poison and ill intent. This heavy psychological oppression grew far more unmanageable after Einstein's passing. Losing the only spiritual pillar who truly understood him in the human world, Gödel retreated entirely into the small safe fortress built for him by his wife Adele. 6 years older than Gödel, once a professional dancer, Adele offered the logical genius the most down-to-earth, sincere warmth and protective shelter he had ever known. He would only eat meals prepared solely by Adele, only felt safe when she assured him no hidden danger lingered in the food she served. She became his final fragile lifeline, connecting him to the ordinary reality of the world. Yet fate reveals its cruelest cruelty by inevitably cutting away that last fragile lifeline. In his later years, Adele's health steadily declined until she suffered a severe stroke and was confined to hospital, unable to return home to prepare his daily meals any longer. The moment the familiar safe meals he relied on vanished completely, Gödel's world sank into utter darkness. He stared at the food brought by doctors and nurses, seeing not ordinary nourishment but bowls of deadly poison simmering silently before him. He had no true desire to end his own life. He simply could not convince his rigid logical mind to accept the uncertain external world, forever haunted by the possibility of hidden poison. In his final months his body wasted away until he weighed barely 60 pounds, reduced to a thin, frail shell like dried paper caught in the wind. He continued filling his notebooks with intricate logical deductions, philosophical reflections, and proofs exploring the existence of God. Even as his physical form withered away little by little, it remains a heart-wrenching display of unyielding persistence. He chose death rather than compromising the pure, uncompromising logic of his soul, surrendering never to the uncertainties and hidden risks of mortal reality. On the 14th of January 1978, Kurt Gödel passed away quietly in a Princeton hospital, his official cause of death recorded as malnutrition and voluntary starvation induced by severe personality disorder. The great mind who deduced the fundamental incompleteness governing the entire universe ultimately completed a perfect logical closed loop of self-destruction with his own fragile life. Our tale circles back to that cold, still afternoon in Princeton, all worldly noise fading into quiet calm. Kurt Gödel departed from this world, yet the profound theorems he left behind stand as two eternal lighthouses shining steadily through the fog of human intellectual progress. The core question he raised, whether human reason possesses inherent uncrossable boundaries, still haunts every seeking mind chasing ultimate truth. Deep into the quiet night he gifted humanity a precious lesson in humility. reminding us that even the most brilliant intellectual minds can never fully unravel or explain every hidden meaning of human life and existence. Perhaps within the boundless dimension of the Gödel universe beyond the limits of mortal time, he now walks hand in hand with Adele, enjoying warm safe bowls of simple soup, free forever from the fear of logical flaws, hidden danger and endless uncertainty. The warm glow of tonight hearth fire is fading gently. May the lingering echo of Gödel pursuit for truth and lonely perseverance settle into the quietest, most peaceful melody within your dreams. In that distant realm beyond logical proof and rational deduction, all fear fades away, every doubt finds its long-awaited answer. Close your eyes, let the gentle softness of the night wrap around you, allowing your thoughts to drift toward the distant stars. Good night, Kurt Gödel, and may you rest in serene, profound, peaceful dreams tonight.